Can someone hold this for a bit? Ah, sige, ako na to.
There's Ray.
Hi, Sharon.
Hi.
Hello. Okay, it's live, guys.
Live na? Check it.
You know, they hear us right now, by the way.
You want me to ask them to
Hi, brother Coco.
Hi friends. So for those of you who have Twitter, could you please retweet Sangu Insider and like blast the event? Because some people need to ask my hashtag Ateneans. Thank you.
Wow. Wait. Hindi siya pink. Hindi siya pink.
Super pink. Hindi siya basta.
Hindi na siya pink. Hi, Rini. Hello. Say hi to Periscope.
Nasa live stream na to?
Yup.
Live stream.
We're streaming live, guys.
Hello.
Wow. Don't say bad words soon.
Don't say bad words. We are streaming live from Faura AVR for the Ateneo at the Core event. Right now, there are a lot of people already, and we're just waiting for people to come in and attend the event. Okay, so everyone, okay, hello at Tonton012012. That's noted. Okay.
You know that the being of a being is not itself a being.
Okay, thank you. Philosophical input from our three sauces, sauce Siberian.
I'm from SAW. So hello. I would like to invite all of you guys to participate in the discourse. Please give inputs on the core curriculum because it's very important.
Thank you.
Not sponsored by C2. I'm sorry. Good day to you, freshmen.
Okay, so for people to come in, and right now I shall be circulating a bit.
Hilig ko naman hawakan ko. Tapos ikaw magsalita.
Thank you.
Today we're having our Ateneans Core. People are starting to settle down.
In your questions or
Please don't forget to have your inputs and join the discourse. This is very vocal information of an Atenean, of the future Atenean. Hi, Instant Noodles.
hello people. Instanodale, hello. Okay. Just waiting for people to come in as we will start the event in a few more minutes. Yes.
As you can see, people are starting to come in. Outside, there's Sir Bobby Guevara.
Doing my live stream live.
Amazing.
So this is the live stream.
Nice. Really? Can I go a picture of it?
Is that happening? Is that live? Is that happening right now? Can you put live? Okay.
Okay. Hello. Okay, so that's live happening right now. Hello. So, if you guys are on your laptops, you can go watch the live stream. Actually, just go to @Sangu Insider and then click the link, and then you will be redirected to your web browser and watch the stream live. Meta.
Hi, freshies. I urge you to participate, not just for the English classes, but to show that you really care for the future of the Ateneo.
Atom? What do you mean atom? Hello. Say hi. It is live streaming.
Nice.
Hello. Okay, VP Vergara has entered the building.
Hindi ko pa nabibigay.
Oy, pinaalala mo.
Say hi to the camera. Okay, so as we see, there are a lot of people in the event right now. Yes, this is streaming live right now. So if you guys can catch up, the event will last until 8 p.m. today. So yes, Faura AVR right now. Okay.
Ayoko na hindi na sa harapan. Kapag
Nagtatanong na. Okay. I don't think I followed. I don't think I followed. Yeah. Oh yeah.
international, no? Ano yung nagpili? Wow, makasigil sila.
How do you in this go in? Yeah.
Oh, that's not live coverage.
Yeah, this is live.
Oh my god.
Maligayang bagong taon. Hello.
Maapektuhan nga ba ng pagbabawas ng units ng Ateneo, isang
Ano
itinerant
nangyari?
artista?
Live
Alamin,
coverage.
ngayon sa live stream. Ateneo at
Guys, this is live by the way.
Hello.
Hello. This is some of the members of the Sanggunian
Chitso.
making okay.
Hi, my digits are joke.
Okay, we're slowly filling out the room with a lot of people.
Don't tell her.
please send in your tweets over at
For the opening prayer, let's welcome the co-president, Yes Verdan.
Please rise for the opening prayer. Let us remember that we're always in the holy presence of God. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. Lord God, thank you for this night. Thank you for a chance for the community of students, professors, and administrators to be able to meet here at Faura AVR to talk about the future of our core curriculum. Lord God, you've called us in Ateneo to be formed not just in our own disciplines, but in the tradition of liberal arts and interdisciplinarity. And we pray in the name,
Amen.
in the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit.
yeah.
So without further ado,
I'd like to thank, of course, welcome the opportunity to address the questions that you may have on the review of the. Just to give you a short as well as myself and Dr. Gonzalez, who sit Dr. Tolosa, who's here from the Leadership and Strategy Department of Philo, he sits as the student representative in the Committee on Education Department. The proposal itself has gone through a number of reviews. As I said, I'd like to fits within Jesuit education as a whole, and the Ateneo de Manila finally was formally in place since the 1950s to 1996. A major overhaul was initiated. This was spurred by the desire for an independent growth of what was then known as the School of Arts and Sciences, the Loyola schools, now with 4 schools under it. Among the revisions of the curriculum then were a reduction in the units of the core, which was meant to strike the inner-outer core format, and the reduction in the core made possible such innovations as programs. It also led to the institutionalization of it's the same core that you are undergoing now, programs, and then depending on the math and the science that this is already the reduced core. If you we took 18 units. You take, if you're an AB student, you take 8 units of Nat Sci. We had theology, we had 15. So the outer core format. This meant that for certain courses, more leeway would be given as students could choose based on their personal. In the revision of what 90s, our world today is confronted with the benefits and challenges of globalization and competitive integration. But there are also widening economic and political inequity. There have been calls, meaningful participation in a global inclusiveness. The Society of Jesus has called for a deeper understanding of the complex interior world created by globalization, especially among our youth. The easy access to data, opinions, sounds, images, and acquaintances can lead to what he calls a globalization of superficiality in thought, visions, dreams, relationships, and convictions. He adds that the gradual, silent, but very real process of dehumanization is taking place when shallow, self-absorbed perceptions of reality make it almost impossible to feel compassion for others. And when contentment with the satisfaction of immediate desires or the laziness to engage competing claims on one's deepest loyalties results in the inability to commit one's life to what is truly worthwhile. He points out that the central challenge to Jesuit higher education is to promote in creative new ways the depth of thought and imagination that are distinguishing marks of the Ignatian tradition. Responding to this challenge means a profound engagement with a world of suffering. Similarly, Pope Francis warns of a globalization of indifference, resulting not only from an unquestioned reliance on market mechanisms for wealth generation and distribution, but also from a lifestyle of consumerism and an individualistic culture of prosperity and self-seeking. The effect is an incapacity for compassion and for taking responsibility for others, particularly the poor and excluded, just to form communities and cultures of tenderness, mercy, and compassion. He says a crucial response is providing an education which teaches critical thinking and encourages the development of mature moral values from a culture shaped by the Catholic faith. This tradition values human dignity, the common good, greatest need. The option for the poor also entails a commitment to be with, learn from, and see with the eyes of the marginalized and excluded. Pope Francis has expressed this challenge as a hermeneutical shift to the geographical and existential periphery, which is the most concrete way of imitating Jesus, who went to all the peripheries. He stresses that being at the periphery helps us to see and understand better, to analyze reality more correctly. The mission of forming leaders who are globally attuned and responsive but also needs is a particular challenge in Philippine society. Centuries of colonialism, concentration of power, and inequitable growth have produced elite decision makers who are culturally disconnected from the majority of the people. The asymmetries fostered by globalization could heighten this division even further. Thus, there is a need for leadership formation that is grounded in the history and culture of the nation and local communities. One aspect of this historical and cultural legacy is a deep reserve of popular religiosity and a wide experience in formal democracy. While marked by distortions and contradictions, they also carry the potential for self-transcendence, missionary, and an empowered citizenship. While the culture of family-centeredness has often been blamed for corruption, lack of public accountability, and a weak sense of the common good, it has also been a deep source of dreams for a better future, of self-sacrifice, hard work, and resilience. As I said a while ago, a comprehensive reform of our basic educational system was started in 2010. This involves the addition of 2 more years of high school. One of the effects of based education and the move towards qualifications frameworks that are used to compare educational qualifications across countries. And because we are the only country in ASEAN where basic education is not 12 years, there is the danger that our undergraduate degrees will no longer be recognized as higher education degrees. Hence, we have the move to K-12 basic education. This has led to certain courses in the general education curriculum being assigned to senior high school. So this is the structure of the K-12 educational system. Senior high school is like, in a sense, it's almost like college as well, no? There are 4 tracks in senior high school. So they're going to be tracking students, no? In senior high school. The students will choose either the academic track, sports, arts and design, or technical vocational livelihood, TECVO. Under the academic track, there are 4 strands, as they're called. There's a general academic strand. There is a STEM strand, that's science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. There is ABM, that's accountancy, business, and management, and then there's the HUME strand, humanities and social sciences. All these strands will have the same core subjects, and these core subjects are the following. So if you look at them, many of them are currently part of what you are taking. No? That's currently part of the GE. So there are courses on the left side. There are courses in English literature, both literature in both English and Filipino, as well as language courses. And then on the right side, you have math and science. And then there's even an introduction to philosophy of the human person. And then there are courses in the social sciences at the bottom. So this is what the grades 11 and 12 would look like. With the introduction of senior high school, portions of the CHED GE curriculum, the current GE curriculum of CHED, will become unnecessary. They will become redundant. And so CHED has had to revise its GE curriculum to remove duplications and overlaps with senior high school. So this is what the new CHED GE curriculum will look like. All colleges and universities in the Philippines are required to implement the CHED GE beginning in school year 2018-2019. So you guys are not yet going to be affected by this. No? It will be the incoming freshmen in school year 2018-2019. This is what the GE curriculum looks like. There are 8 courses here on the left, so 24 units of core courses. And then there will be 3 interdisciplinary electives, course on Rizal. The current GE curriculum is 63 units. This new curriculum is going to go down to 36. Before us in the Ateneo is to revise the core curriculum in a manner that remains true to our Ateneo identity while incorporating the revisions mandated by CHED. We are fitting the CHED into our core. We are not changing our core to fit CHED GE. Because as the former Superior General of the Jesuits, Father Kolvenbach states, the core curriculum in a Jesuit university is not simply a GE curriculum. He says, core mission and heritage, and often is a smaller, more integrated set of courses, especially at faith-based institutions. General education tends to be associated with acquisition of basic or fundamental skills and less connected to values and identity. General education often is structured around distribution requirements that allow students considerable choice. Father Kolvenbach is a reminder to us that the core curriculum carries the mission of any Jesuit school. We also have to remember that the ultimate goal of Jesuit education is to inspire a knowledge and love of our Redeemer and Maker, as a person for others. Former Superior General Father Pedro Arupe said that if our operation of the school flows out of the strengths drawn from our specific charism, if we emphasize our essential characteristics and our basic options, then the education which our students receive should give them a certain Ignatialidad. There is a certain Ignatianness to who we are. Our responsibility is to provide to our schools what we believe God and the Church asks of us. And so we define ourselves here at the Ateneo as a Filipino, Catholic, and Jesuit university. There are certain characteristics that distinguish a Jesuit university from others. And these characteristics can be regrouped as knowing the world, knowing the self, knowing others, knowing God, and magic. Curriculum is ultimately a reaffirmation of our identity as a Jesuit institution and of what that means to us in the kind of education that we are offering to our students. We seek to equip our students with the tools to know themselves, to know others, is the hallmark of Jesuit. Strives for both academic competence and value, learning skills and tools, understanding the physical world, understanding the self, understanding others and society, knowing God, and integrating, interiorizing, and manifesting. In the Curriculum Committee's discussions, our emphasis was that in revising the core curriculum, the focus cannot be on the number of units or courses and how evenly distributed these are across the 4 Loyola schools. Rather, we were looking at the overall configuration that we felt would be able to achieve the desired competencies of the ideal Ateneo graduate. Who is this ideal Ateneo graduate? Confronting the aforementioned challenges in the world and Philippine society within the context of the Jesuit perspective of education, the Ateneo de Manila Loyola School seeks to develop persons for others who, grounded in Ignatian spirituality, engage the world using their competencies and the lens of sustainable development. The ideal Ateneo graduate develops the self and deepens awareness continuously in the context of a community. This graduate engages the world while critically rooted in local sensibilities, local and global cultures, and social realities. This graduate uses the scientific spirit, the creative imagination, a continuing sustainable development perspective, and Christian values in becoming a leader and agent of change. And this graduate develops a vision of personal and structural transformation grounded in social awareness and in Ignatian spirituality that is strongly oriented to faith and justice. Our students will move from foundational courses meant to sharpen their language and communication skills, so here, foundations, and equip them with basic scientific and mathematical tools. Foundational courses on faith and self-understanding prepare students for exploring the world and the self in the world, hopefully bringing them to a point of a readiness to engage the world and to commit to using their competencies to work towards social transformation grounded in a mature Christian faith. I'll show you the... Sige na, next. Yeah, we have courses on, and the ones on in red are courses that are course on purposive communication, and then there is the Filipino Malayuning Komunikasyon. And then there's literature, Panitika ng Pilipinas, natural science, math in the modern world, understanding the self, and faith, spirituality, and the church. So the curriculum committee looks at these courses as foundational courses. So that's where they will be. And then for rootedness, in other words, making sure that our students are culturally rooted. We have the courses on art appreciation, foreign language and culture, the contemporary world, Rizal, readings in Philippine history, philosophy of the human person and human society, and then Catholic social vision. We're deliberately not using the catalog numbers that you're used to for some of these courses. For example, I think you know that Catholic social vision is TO 141, but this is because departments and programs are also going to be revising the content, no? And the delivery of these courses. So that's society and technology, or actually it's science, technology, and society, right? Religion, vocation, and commitment, and then you have your interdisciplinary electives. And then finally, ethics, discerning life questions, and then another interdisciplinary course on leadership and sustainability. Okay, so that's what the proposed new core will look like. I just like to point out that the stages, no, when we move from foundations to rootedness, deepening leadership, these do not correspond to year levels. So it doesn't mean that the foundation courses are in first year, the rootedness courses are in second year, and so on. No? Because some of the rootedness courses will already be in freshman year. Okay, and then I have to tell you about the curriculum committee envisions these interdisciplinary electives. The committee is proposing 3 interdisciplinary electives, so the same number as what is in the CHED requirement. However, the following electives. One will be a course on leadership and sustainability, which will be customized according to the major. Some major, your leadership sustainability elective will be different from, let's say, while as the CHED memorandum order says, the content and perspectives of the GE electives proposing will be classified and offered by a department or a school. So the courses will use English to show that to mark that it's offered by the English department, or i.e. history, for example. And then a student may not take into an interdisciplinary course that's offered by his or her own home department. So let's say if you are a history major, your interdisciplinary course should not come from the history department because that defeats the purpose of interdisciplinarity. And then the student also may not take the 2 interdisciplinary electives from the same school, so they have to take it from 2 different schools. So that's basically how we want to look at according to disciplinary clusters, because this is what we're more used to. No, we think of the core as these are the English and literature core in their disciplinary clusters. So first, Jesuit tradition of eloquentia and sapientia, the languages and literature cluster seeks to sharpen basic language skills, both in English and Filipino, so that students can communicate in both and use both to learn other subject areas. They are also meant to deepen their knowledge and appreciation of various types of literature shaped by different cultural contexts. And through the courses in this subcluster, the student is trained to think critically and to communicate effectively and to be in touch with the world of creative imagination. Then there's going to be a foreign languages and culture course, as there is now. And through this course, students hopefully will be able to initiate and engage in everyday conversation, employing the foreign language of their choice, demonstrate a knowledge of basic vocabulary and proper grammar of the foreign language, and articulate their appreciation of the culture contained in and expressed through that language. There will be a course on art appreciation. This is a CHED GE course, where students should be able to appreciate different forms of art in both aesthetics and context through the lens of the Filipino, recognize the importance of art in a culture's tradition and history, and articulate the impact of art on one's own life. And so the curriculum committee proposes a languages and literature cluster composed of the following. There will be, at least the initial proposal is 18 units, After this was presented to the faculty last week during Faculty Day, there have been some reactions and comments to the language and literature cluster. So we are currently now going back to the English department to discuss those concerns that they have. No? Number of language and literature courses by 3 units. No? So this is either 18 or 21. Okay. Next will be the natural sciences and mathematics cluster. After completing the natural science courses in the core curriculum, our students should be able to apply the scientific method to approaching and solving a problem, hypothesize, design, and conduct a rational experiment based on scientific theory, particularly collect and interpret data, draw conclusions based on findings, and articulate and reflect on the role of science in everyday life as well as in national development. Through the math course, on the other hand, students should be able to argue about the nature of mathematics, use different types of reasoning to justify statements about mathematical concepts, discuss the language and symbols of mathematics, and use a variety of statistical tools to process and manage numerical data and apply these tools to these different areas, no? Like finance, health, business, arts and design, and others. And so for the natural sciences and mathematics cluster, this is what the curriculum committee proposes. A 4-unit Nat-Sci course, Science, Technology, and Society, which is a CHED-GE mandated course. And so it is going to be a revised Science 10 course. And then Math in the Modern World, which will be a revised Math 12 course. For the social science history cluster, the social sciences contribute toward a multi-dimensional understanding of the contemporary world by a view of society as a coherent and dynamic system of human interaction and by a significant reliance on empirical data. The focus in the core courses on understanding key spheres and challenges of social life call for perspectives and approaches that draw both upon and transcend the distinctive theories and methodologies of specific social sciences disciplines. Within the context of Jesuit educational strategy, the social sciences provide a theoretically informed and empirically based understanding of human society, thus providing an essential foundation for individual and collective intervention grounded on human and spiritual values. The social sciences cluster, as it says here, will evaluate social realities using a wide range of local, national, and global perspectives, distinguish different standpoints, interpretations, and approaches to human life and society, and draw upon them critically and creatively to understand and respond to social questions. Competently and ethically use relevant scientific methodologies to generate and analyze empirical information and address pressing social problems. The history courses in the core curriculum focus on understanding contemporary society against the background of the past, especially as this past is recorded and interpreted in the form of narratives. After completing the history core courses, students should be able to identify the basic primary sources in Philippine history and determine their usefulness on the basis of their historical context and that of the authors. Develop the tools for the evaluation of the sources of history and situate key historical events and personalities and developments in their social sciences and history cluster will look like. 4 of these courses are required by the CHED-GE curriculum: Understanding the Self, the Contemporary World, Rizal, and Readings in Philippine History. Beyond that, the curriculum committee felt that it was necessary for our students to have a course on the economy, society, and development, as well as a course on politics, governance, and citizenship. We're going to philosophy. For the philosophy and theology cluster, the committee recognizes that this cluster remains the centerpiece of the core curriculum, with the courses providing explicit locus for integration of the Ateneo goals of competence and value formation on the level of both programs and of the individual student. This integration is facilitated through greater awareness of the contribution of the humanities and the natural and social. Philosophy and theology cluster is continually challenged to be at the forefront of dialogue and growth in the university. university. Philosophy issues, but also introduces students to the tradition of wisdom. Theology deepens the faith of in scripture and church teaching. Core courses in both departments seek to lead students to a reasoned faith response integral to their reflective skills and knowledge. The courses in the philosophy through the courses in the philosophy cluster, students should be able to identify and explain the dominant terms and perspectives associated with different philosophical strains and traditions, apply this understanding in their interpretation of problems of contemporary Philippine society, particularly regarding development and its place in the global order, explore and reflect on the problem of God in their daily lives, and identify and understand ethical systems and apply these in the evaluation of social and even disciplinary issues. Theology, on the other hand, offers knowledge and develops skills required for more personal, critical, and mature grasp of Christianity's truth claims, moral precepts, and system of worship. After the completion of the courses in theology, our students will hopefully be able to articulate the significance and value of their own unique existence in light of the Christian faith and express this faith's central claims as found in scripture and tradition relative to their own lives and the wider Philippine and Asian context, demonstrate a commitment to enhancing the quality of life and humanity of others, especially those excluded and in greatest need, and express a desire for a life of gratitude and greater intentionality towards pursuing one's mission. All of these marks of a maturing intellectual, moral, and spiritual life. So this is what Additionally, the Curriculum Committee proposes the inclusion of an integrative course called Discerning Life Questions. With the background from various core courses, this Ignatian integrative course draws from philosophical and theological perspectives in discussing selected life questions: forgiveness, brokenness and the pursuit of wholeness, finitude and the infinite, approaches to making life decisions, developing moral imagination. By its very nature, life questions need analogy and Ignatian discernment. Ignatian discernment would be a defining influence in the discussion of these life questions, and ideally this course is followed by the seniors in theology. So the Curriculum Committee proposes a philosophy and theology cluster that looks like this. 18 units of 18 units of philo and theo, and then the integrity of discerning life questions. Okay. The proposed core curriculum looks like this. It's down from 92 units, which is the core that you're taking now for AP majors. It's down to 76, depending on how things go with our negotiations for language and literature. The 76 might become 79 from what it is today. There are a number of reference points. No? The current unit count for the core curriculum, as I said, the minimum is 92. When we change this, and the change will be effective school year 2018-2019. Okay, so it will not affect any of you. The proposed unit count, how many units is that beyond the CHED GE? The CHED GE, remember, the new one is 30. The CHED GE today, which is 63 units. The difference with our core is 29 units. When we change to the new GE, 43. Tama ba? Yeah. What does GE look like in other universities? At least what we have is from UP and LaSalle. In UP, they are discussing a 21 unit GE. In LaSalle, in DLSU, they're working on a 45 unit GE. So still a little above the CHED GE, but substantially less than ours. Okay. What are the next steps? What was presented last week to the faculty is not finalized and refined. So we're going to be doing that and hopefully finish that before the end of the semester. That means going back and forth to the different departments and schools. The new the new core curriculum is the care of the core curriculum. For now, we don't have a name for the office yet, but it's going to be an office for the core curriculum to attend for a maximum number of units for a phone. All of these proposals, by way of procedure, all of these proposals the curriculum committee will make to the school council. It is the school council that will vote on the proposals. And if the school council approves these proposals, the next step will be for the Loyola schools to present this to the Board of Trustees for final approval. We hope to be able to present to the Board of Trustees in their meeting in May this year. And then after the core curriculum is approved, the earliest possible, as I said, is in May. The next step will be to review all the major curricula. Because what we will have to do then is to adjust the major curriculum to the new core. And we hope that we'll be able to look at all the major curricula between school year 2016-2017 to school year 2017-2018, so that come school year 2018-2019, which is the deadline of CHED to implement the new GE, we will be more than ready to do that. And then finally, for the establishment of the Office of the Core Curriculum, that office will take care of faculty retooling. And then we would also like to revisit Ignatian for the new core courses. I think that's it. Thank you very much. We will take your questions now.
Okay, so that ends the presentation of propositions, and they shall be now entertaining questions. We'll be back.